That's gonna be fun to clean up. Hi, today is the 30th day of me vlogging every day in April, and I figured, why not celebrate? So to celebrate, I'm going to have a slice of delicious tres leches cake, and you can join me as I eat it. Let's see here. Light the candle. Yeah. Yep. Great. Now watch this. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah. How do I want it? I don't know. Yeah. Something like that. Yeah, so I'm gonna make a wish, and I invite you to make a wish as well. Okay, time to eat. Yeah, and I figure also just like chat about whatever I want. Pocket fork. Yeah, so like first I'm feeling really grateful. In whatever capacity you've interacted with these vlogs, whether you're just watching this one, you're about to leave it, or you watched all 30, or yeah, you know me from some other context, or yeah, whoever you're here right now with me, I appreciate you. The strawberry and pineapple will be interesting to navigate here. Yeah. Kind of felt like talking about myself initially. Maybe I will, because a lot of the vlogs this month have been me giving out like some ideas, insights, wisdoms, often informed by my own life. But that does beg the question, like, well, who is this guy? Oh, one of those balloons is not long for this video. I'm just gonna eat the strawberry. Yeah, so I figured like I could talk about some stuff that's alive in my life right here and right now. And really like, the most alive thing there is, how to phrase this? It could be called like some woo explorations, or spirituality more charitably. Different like, spiritual lessons and more established paths that I've been exploring for myself personally and community through meditations and podcasts, and just thinking about it in my own time. So I want to share about some of that that's really been alive really over the past year, since like last fall. Yeah. I read somewhere you're supposed to chew food like 32 times per bite, but cake's already so soft and moist, I figure I can get away with slightly fewer. So let's go back to last August, 2024. I was feeling contracted, nervous, anxious. I'm just like really enjoying the confetti everywhere. Uncertain around finances and my career, I was messaging with a friend about this, and she forwarded a podcast episode from an organization called To Be Magnetic. And this episode talked about 3 sort of techniques and skills and things to do to connect oneself with things they want in their life. Approaches to try in pursuit of like what they want. And for my case, that was, more financial certainty and abundance. And so this episode talks about these kind of 3 pillars of their process. And the first one is to find expanders, like people who have the thing you want or are living the life you want. If you're aware of their existence, you see they're a normal person, they did normal human things to get to where they are, and I'm also a normal person, so I can also just, I see that it's possible. That helps shift some brain thing to help myself believe that it's achievable for myself as well. So in this 2B magnetic community, that's known as expanders. People expand your scope of what's possible for you in your life. The second pillar is called unblocking, which deals with limiting beliefs. So in my case, if I might think like, I don't deserve financial abundance, or I'm not smart enough to get there, or I'm not like confident or willing to like show myself to strangers and really own what my skills are and how I can add value to other people's lives. Those are all limiting beliefs. And so there are different techniques that 2B magnetic offers to sort of play with those limiting beliefs and nudge them or shift them, largely involving what I'll call guided meditations that they offer in their own proprietary platform. And like journaling is also a big part of that. So that's second pillar, limiting beliefs, or unblocking those limiting beliefs rather. And the third pillar is to take aligned action. So while we can do all this internal work and see the people and know I'm deserving and I'm skillful and I help people and I have my rights, intentions and everything, all this internal work can be, really aligned for myself, and still got to do stuff in the real world. There's still work to be done to, in my case, like, create things of value, offer them, create the what's it called? Like internet setups. Like scheduling calendars and like write about, in my case, I like to write a lot, and just like showcase, like, here's how I can be of service to you. So expanders, unblocking, aligned action, all of that together creates manifestation, which is a super woo term. But again, I feel like I've explained it pretty logically. Like, there are internal and external obstacles to achieving what you want in life or becoming who you want to be. And so 2B Magnetic offers this process for manifestation. So I really enjoyed the podcast episode. I signed up in like late August or September, and I've really enjoyed like this long process of introspection. And there are workshops, self-paced workshops that this organization offers I've done to understand some stuff about myself. I learned my own like authentic code, which is basically another way of saying goodbye number 2. A set of core values, like my most important values for myself, which right now are creativity, connection, freedom, ease, and growth, which I've just seen in so many ways in my life, like basically all throughout my life, especially in adulthood, and especially in the past like year or so. It's been fun to see like having things like they encourage you to write some like manifestation lists. There it goes. Because basically like pen and paper can make things more like real in your brain body than just typing things out. So it's been great to see like, oh, these manifestations came through. I didn't even like remember that I wrote them down or even realize that they happened. Like I wrote down I want someone to pay for a meal for me, and that happened. I wrote that I want I want one of my essays to be shared with 10,000 people. I wrote that in late January, and then on April 3rd, James Clear shares one of my essays with 3 million people. Yeah. So it's a fun thing. It's like, oh wow. It feels good to like intentionally nudge and shift my life towards how I want it to be with like struggles or obstacles or things not coming through, and really celebrate and enjoy the successes of when they do. Yeah, so that's been 2 being magnetic manifestation, one part of my kind of spiritual exploration in the past year. Big bite. In Austin, where I live, in the past few months, I started hosting and co-hosting a monthly meetup for people in this 2B magnetic community. Yeah, and that's been really fulfilling. And through one friend connection, or a few rather, in this community, I was introduced to human design, which is, how do I even explain? Let's take a bite and think about it. Human design is a spiritual modality. I'm avoiding actually talking about it. It's a classification system that's based on your birth time and place. So super woo disclaimer there. Similar to astrology. But it gives you this whole big giant conception of like, here is your strategy for being your most authentic aligned self. And here is your authority, which is like the way you know for yourself what is right for yourself and what is not. Yeah, so I'll share for myself, for example, like according to human design, can't believe I'm talking about this publicly. I have an emotional authority, which means that when something like feels good, like it feels like the right thing to do, or it feels like it would be satisfying, that's how I know it's the right thing. Other people, for example, have, I think, what's called like a sacral authority, where their gut's supposed to tell them, like, supposed to like feel it in their gut, I suppose. And there's one called a splenic authority, where you like apparently have like an instant, like one moment you feel like, oh, it's right, then that feeling goes away, but you're supposed to really be aware of that one moment where there's a big yes and follow that yes. Not as familiar with those authorities. Yeah, for my emotional authority, I'm also encouraged to wait to respond to things because I want to feel like the entire sort of emotional cycle. If like a friend's like, hey, do you want to go to this thing? I'm encouraged not to like immediately say yes or no, but really like sit with it, feel into it, maybe sleep on it, and notice like, yeah, like how do I feel about that? Would it feel good for me to go with this person to this thing? And from that like really emotionally aware place, excuse me, I can tell them yes or no. Yeah. With human design, there's also a list of what they call gifts. No, I have something about pronouncing T's. Everyone has some gifts based on their human design. And there's an app I use called Align, where there's this long set of like audio, I guess, yeah, audio is included, where on like walks and runs, I've listened to like these things about myself and my list of gifts. And it's interesting to see like which ones like resonate more with how I understand myself versus not. It's like, oh yeah, I am enthusiastic and I do really love my life. And is it true that I'm supposed to like listen and take in other people's stories and like share those back? Maybe, I'm not sure. Yeah, it's fun and it's interesting, and yeah, I just really like this kind of novel way of like introspecting and understanding sort of who I am and what feels right for me. there's like a defensive, maybe ego, people-pleasing part that wants to say right now, like, I don't take any of this at like default face value, you're right no matter what. I am still like a very discerning person. I do like to test things out for myself, which is why I'm open to these things. Like if I noticed they weren't really feeling good, or like if they didn't feel right, I would drop them, but they do feel right, so I keep them. Yeah. That's a little people-pleasing thing I want to share there. Ooh, pineapple and cake. Great. A little frosting too. Yeah. So that's human design. And this last little bit is like super new, like just in the past day or two, but I just feel like sharing it. A friend I met through To Be Magnetic, she's big into kabbalah, and I've started listening to a few conversations about that. I know very little about it, but it seems very interesting. There's a concept there around certainty, which I find fascinating. And like, again, as a 1 or 2 day student of this, as I understand certainty here, like from Kabbalah, there's a certainty that there's a creator, or like one God, however you want to interpret that. So certainty that like God is there, and everything that happens, like good in quotes and bad in quotes, everything that happens, be certain that that's like God's will, or God is ordaining that. And that it's all for the good. I'm reminded of the parable of the farmer, which, in short, one lesson there is that you can't know for sure whether something's ultimately good or bad. Like say, for example, you break your leg, that's bad, right? We all know that breaking a leg injury is bad. However, if you're exempt from being drafted into a war because of your injury, because your leg's broken, turns out the broken leg was ultimately good for yourself, to not have to give your life for, some violent cause. I think Kabbalah encourages certainty and just comfort, knowing that even when bad stuff happens, it's all good, being ordained by God for some maybe unknowable ultimate impact or purpose. Yeah, so that's where I'm at woo-wise. Hope you enjoyed learning that about me. I feel like talking about areas of growth for myself. That'll be towards the closing of this video. All right, all the pineapple wants to go into this bite. Glitter on my finger. Yeah. I really enjoyed learning for myself. This does feel like a maybe universal human concept, but I don't want to sort of give universal principles here. But for myself, I know that being in the present moment as often as possible just feels correct. Also remembering this from Kabbalah, it's the creator or God's job to handle your future. If you want to what's my purpose, or who's the love of my life, that's all God's job. That's the future stuff. Me as the human, my job is to be right here and right now, do the task in front of me as best as I can, and trust that as long as I keep doing that, always in the present moment, whether it's conversation or work, exercise, just being present, driving, or just doing some chore, whatever my task is in the present moment, as long as I am with it and surrendered to it and doing as best as I can, everything's gonna work out. The creator will take care of the rest. So that's really comforting for me. As someone who's definitely historically been in the future, anxious, or even in the past, regretting things and feeling uncertain. it's good to like feel certain, like here and now, I'm good to do whatever this one task for me to do is right now. So yeah, growth area. I want to be even more present because it just feels so good. Yeah, and just like gently nudge myself away from temptations to be like anxious or worried about future stuff. Yeah. Another area of growth for me. Excuse me. One cough. Got it. All right. There's something around ego. I've noticed like I've been able to navigate like, big, obvious, flashy ego temptations. I'm pretty good now about like not indulging those or giving into those. However, there are for me like a little more like subtle or like sneakier ways ego can pop up in my life. And it really doesn't like serve myself or like someone I'm in connection with. I'm really, I don't know about the way like to ultimately navigate this because I do want to share like, here's who I am and here's what I'm about and here's what I care about. But not in like a, hey, I'm so great way. Like, hey, look at me, look at how wonderful I am. That can be like really subtle and nuanced for me at times. And I've noticed like I've stumbled into like the, oh, I'm so great side of that fence on occasion. And I really don't want to. It doesn't feel good for me. Doesn't feel good for other people. So that's another area of growth. It's on my mind and alive for me. Here and now on April 30th, 2025. I like when things come in threes, so I'm gonna feel into 1/3 final area of growth for me right now. Oops. Yeah, I want to be more vulnerable, which is like share really who I am, like on the deepest levels with like people in my life, like people who are cherished and important to me. And I am doing that, but I feel I can do that like even more. There's even like more to dig in there. Done eating cake. Because it just like feels right when like people really get to know who I am as a man, as a human, as a person of the internet. So they can decide for themselves like, do I want this? Do I not want this? Just click away or click to see more, or a third option. And I get to do my part there by really showing people, yeah, this is me. I'm not putting on a mask or a front or trying to get anything from you, but here's exactly who I am. Take it or leave it. Yeah. So those are 3 growth areas for myself. Let's be more present. Let's be more aware of ego traps. Let's be more vulnerable. Wow. Close to 30 minutes here. At least on my timer. Just want to like, I don't know, kind of be with the last bit of these vlogs. Like I'll never again be doing this month of vlogs in April 2025, and just feel really happy about having felt into it back in March and knowing there's something I want to do for myself and offer to other people. And it was really nice. I just doubled my subscriber count from April 1st to April 30th here on YouTube. It feels really, it's like correct and wonderful. I mentioned like creativity is part of my authentic code, and it's an extremely creative exploration for me, and it's all my other core values here. Like it's connected me with people, and feels very freeing, and it's been easy, and I grew in being comfortable talking to the internet and thinking through like what ideas and things I understand for myself I want to share with other people, and yeah, it's just been really great. Thank you, me, for deciding to do this. Yeah, okay. I think it's time to vacuum up some confetti. Yeah. I guess I can give some plugs for myself. Feels correct too. I have a website. It's down in the description. It is also, I can tell you, it's strangestloop.io, where you can learn more about my writing. I offer front-end web design, a web development service, and coaching service as well, where I make use of my curiosity and attunement to clients to help them during our Zoom calls figure out some insights or useful next step for themselves in service of however they're trying to grow in their life. Yeah, I'm on Twitter at strangestloop. I'm on Instagram at strangest.loop. I'm on email at loopstrangest@gmail.com. Yeah, I have a monthly newsletter that's going to go out tomorrow, May 1st. I guess I'll include a link to subscribe to that if you want. I would love comment down here, just about whatever. Just say hi or an emoji or yeah, anything. I'll respond to it if you give me that. Yeah, I'm feeling complete. Okay. This has been day 30 of vlogging every day in April. Thank you so much for watching and for listening, and I'll see you when I see you.